Doctors, we're going to have patients come in, as we discussed in the last video, that may not be a good candidate for frank manipulation, either because of absolute or relative contraindications, or perhaps because of the fact that their occiput atlas is so acute that it's very difficult to accomplish a frank manipulation without inducing significant discomfort. And another tool we can have in our box, quite simply, is joint mobilization. And quite simply, we move the joint, which we'll demonstrate in just a moment, through all of the various cardinal ranges of motion. In fact, this is quite honestly a very good assessment tool as well as a treatment tool. The difference between mobilization and manipulation, obviously, is that manipulation takes the joint past the physiological range of motion to where we get the actual cavitation, whereas with mobilization, we stop right at that barrier. So obviously, if let's say we're doing the OA joint and we have an extension restriction, I like to take my index fingers, reinforce one over the other. My hand stabilizes the side of the head, put the head into flexion, and then you can do some long axis extension and or you can do some flexion mobilization. The difference between mobilization and manipulation in terms of administration is that you do the mobilization several times. The question is how many times should I do it? And that's really different from patient to patient. Let the body speak to you. Perform the maneuver until you feel like you're starting to see some improvement in joint mobilization with an eventual plateau. Lateral flexion, quite simply, put the patient into lateral flexion. I like to use the first MP joint to make a contact on the base of the occiput, and then just nice gentle oscillations. Lateral glide, same type of contact, and essentially doing this from a neutral position. And then rotation. Rotation, we have to be careful. Our thumb is on the TMJ. Obviously, if you have a TMJ patient, you're going to have to improvise and place the contact. I usually let the thumb run down the sternocleidomastoid, and you can still get the same type of effect.